So there's been a strike ongoing among auto mechanics in the city of Chicago. And joining us now to break down what exactly is going on there is Ronnie Gonzalez. He's business representative at the Auto Mechanics Local 701. Great to have you, Ronnie.
Good to see you, Ronnie.
Good morning. Thanks for having me.
Just give us an update. How long has the strike been going on, and what are your concerns?
The strike started August 2nd, Monday morning at the open of business for the car dealerships. We had a membership meeting on the 1st to vote the final offer given by the NCDC, and at that time the offer was rejected by 97% by our membership, followed up by a strike vote that passed with a 99% approval from the membership. So the major sticking points currently are the NCDC has proposed language. One article is the most favored nations language, and that basically gives the ability to the NCDC to cherry pick provisions out of other automobile mechanic or automotive contracts, any policies or provisions that they feel beneficial to them, and they would be effective immediately, not giving the union any ability to bargain on them. The membership and the union are very opposed to that because we feel that each company and negotiations and agreement have their own set of circumstances, and nobody has the right to reach into somebody else's contract. The second issue is the lack of funding to our health and welfare. The trustees have put forth a set rate for what they need to keep our health and welfare fund going, and the NCDC fails to meet that rate. And thirdly, we are rejecting a provision that will reduce the journeyman's base pay guarantee. When they come in for 40 hours a week, they get a base rate that, if the work is slow or productivity is down for whatever reason, whether it's due to their control or not, that the management would have the ability to reduce that base pay. And we're against that also.
So just tell us, Ronnie, about obviously the specifics of the contract is really important. You guys have been on strike now for quite some time. Like, how are you guys doing in terms of that? Do you guys see any progress towards getting what you want from management for the deal?
Yes, this is our fifth week just started, and I've been out to the strike lines on a regular basis, and the morale is really high. The membership knows why they're out there, and they're dedicated to the cause, that they want to have a good language or a good contract to work under, and they will not stand for a substandard contract. So they know what it takes. In 2017, they had a 7.5-week strike that ultimately led to a acceptable contract that they passed. And so this group has the ability and knows what it takes to stay out for a strike to get an acceptable contract.
One of the things I read in the news reports was that there was a defectors group that somehow factors into this, but I couldn't quite understand how this all works. Could you just explain that piece to me?
The NCDC started with roughly 130 dealerships, and towards the end of that strike, the dealerships just left the NCDC to take an agreement that they felt was acceptable to both the dealerships and the members. So coming into this set of negotiations in 2021, that group of people created their own new association, which was named the Defectors, and that they bargained their own deal, and they never went on strike. That group was roughly about 30 dealerships, and that group has grown to over 70 dealerships now, and they are in the majority. The NCDC, I believe, came into this negotiations at 56 dealerships, and are now far below that number as people are once again defecting.
So one of the things that I think is important for people to understand, Ronnie, because so much of America has sort of lost touch with the labor movement and what it means, the language of it, the language of strikes, what this is all about. If you all weren't unionized, what sort of power would you have in this situation to get the deal that you deserve?
I don't think any, because if you don't have a union to represent you, then you don't have a seat at the table to negotiate the terms of the contract.
And so what are the dealerships doing right now? Are people getting their cars fixed, or are they using scab labor? How are they sort of coping with this situation?
There are no certified union mechanics inside any of the shops that are currently picketing. I've heard of service writers and managers changing oil just to try and get a couple customers taken care of, but ultimately there are no certified union mechanics doing work on the other side of the strike lines.
Got it.
What can our audience do to support you guys, and what kind of community support have you gotten, Ronnie?
Community support has been abundant. Chicago is a very union dense area, and other unions, police officers, firefighters, teachers. Sorry if I left anybody out. I know there's been a whole bunch of people, construction trades, electricians, plumbers. Different unions have come out and dropped off water, dropped off food, dropped off donuts and coffee and all type of material support to help the guys and girls out there on the strike line. And we really appreciate that type of support. And honk as you go by, wave. If you're an actual customer to the dealership, write a letter to the dealership and say that, giving acceptable terms to our mechanics is something that you desire as a customer.
Great. Well, I know we have a lot of people watching from Chicago, so thank you for bringing us all up to speed. It's really important, and we support you guys.
Thank you.
Thank you for covering our story.
Hey guys, thanks so much for watching.
That's right. Just as a reminder, you can become a premium subscriber today. Watch the full show completely uncut, our reactions to each other's monologues. You get to listen to it. You get to ask us questions, all that good stuff. Link is right there in the description or at breakingpoints.com.
Best of all, great way to say screw you to the mainstream media.